The phone vibrated between us. Not loud, not urgent, just enough to exist. We were sitting on opposite ends of the bed, pretending to watch a movie we had both already seen. Her leg touched mine, familiar, warm, practiced. She reached for the phone too quickly, then stopped herself. That pause lasted half a second longer than necessary. I noticed. I always notice. The screen lit up. No name, just a number. She turned it face down with a smile that arrived late, like it had been rehearsed somewhere else. "Spam," she said. I didn't respond. I nodded instead. Calm. Measured. My heartbeat didn't change. That worried me more than anger ever could. The phone vibrated again. This time she didn't look at me when she picked it up. She stood, walked toward the bathroom, locked the door. I stayed where I was. The movie kept playing. A laugh track erupted at the wrong moment. Somewhere behind the door, her voice dropped into a tone she never used with me. Soft, intimate, careful. I leaned back and stared at the ceiling. Everything still looked normal. That was the cruelest part. I told myself stories that night. Small ones, safe ones. She's stressed. Work is heavy. People are complicated. I repeated them until they sounded true. But suspicion doesn't shout. It whispers. Over the next few days, details began lining up in ways coincidence never does. Her phone never left her hand. Password changed. Notifications muted. She laughed more, just not with me. She started dressing with intention again. Not for dates, for exits. I watched, quietly. She spoke about loyalty like someone reading a script. She touched me like it was part of a routine she didn't want to disrupt. When I asked where she'd been, she answered too fast. When I asked how she felt, she said fine without looking up. I started to understand something important. I wasn't being cheated on in chaos. I was being managed. That realization settled deep, heavy, clinical. One night while she slept, her phone lit up on the nightstand. No vibration, just light. I didn't touch it. I didn't need to. The message preview was enough. Can't wait to see you again. No name, no shame. I lay there listening to her breathe, realizing I had been demoted without being informed. I didn't confront her. Confrontation is for people who still need answers. I already knew where this was going. Instead, I became observant, strategic, patient. I checked dates against stories, timelines against excuses, late meetings that matched hotel receipts, weekend errands that aligned perfectly with his gym schedule. Yes, I learned his schedule too. Phone records came first, then locations, then patterns so precise they felt insulting. She wasn't slobby. She just underestimated me. At home, I stayed calm, predictable, reliable. I kissed her forehead, asked about her day, played my role flawlessly. Inside, my thoughts moved like knives being sharpened, not for violence, for clarity. One afternoon, while she showered, I copied a folder from her laptop. Messages, photos, reservations, years of intimacy compressed into data. She never bothered to hide it properly. People never do when they think they're safe. I read everything. I learned how they laughed at me, how he called me comfortable, how she said I wouldn't leave. That line stayed with me. Wouldn't. As if my presence was furniture. The report arrived on a Tuesday. I printed it, folded it neatly, placed it in my jacket pocket. That evening I made dinner. Her favorite. She noticed, smiled, sat across from me like nothing in the world was burning. Halfway through the meal, I slid the paper across the table. She looked confused at first, then pale. The DNA test didn't lie. Neither did the timestamps, or the messages, or the reservation under her name.
She stared at the page, mouth opening without sound. "I can explain," she whispered. I nodded. "I know," I said. That was the moment she broke. Not because she was caught, but because she realized I had already moved past needing her explanation. I didn't raise my voice. I told her what I knew. When it started, how long it lasted, how often she lied, how carefully she thought she'd erased me. Her tears came on cue, apologies layered over fear, regret manufactured in real time. I waited until she finished. Then I told her I had already sent everything, to him, to his wife, to her parents, to the version of herself she thought she controlled. I told her the lease was ending. My accounts were closed, my absence already arranged. "You never lost me," I said quietly. "You replaced me." She reached for me. I stepped back. That was the last power she thought she had. I left that night. No drama, no second glance. The city felt different when I walked through it alone. Cleaner, sharper, honest. I didn't feel broken. I felt corrected. Some betrayals don't destroy you. They realign you. They show you exactly where you stand in someone else's story and how easily you can write